So when we understand the importance of training, let us talk on how we can effectively impart the training. And we will start with the very basic level of the people who are working within the company. Let's start with our technicians, our operators, who are the backbone of the entire company. If they are not properly trained, they make mistake, then it will be directly impacting the final product outcome. So how we can train our operators? For example, if a technician joins as a fresher within the company, then what usually is done, we are assigning 100 SOPs based on the job role, ask him to go through the SOP, and the person has to read 100 SOPs, get trained, and then is ready to go to operate the machine. Is it the right way to do it? I think no. At technician's level, if he has to read 100 SOPs, then it's not a practical approach of, not a practical way of doing the training. At technician level, you have to define first you have to define or determine which specific machine, which specific area is going to work. Based on that defined requirement, identify the specific SOPs, specific criteria which he needs to be trained on this specific area or requirement. Once you define specific list of SOPs, specific list of activities which the person has to do, give only those SOPs as a training requirement to the operator. And not only make him read, we have to practically explain the SOP. So somebody who is in the system, who knows the processes, has to practically explain the things. He can go through the SOP, he can read the SOP, but practically we know you cannot learn how to ride a bicycle by knowing or by reading the SOP on how to ride the bicycle. You have to practically give the hands-on experience to the person. So there are two aspects. One, the person has to be familiarized with the SOP, so he know what is the SOP, and then the second phase comes at the on-the-job training. So at the technicians level, 2-3 important aspects. First, limit the number of SOPs which is required to be read by the operator or required to be undergone training by the operator. Second most important aspect is on-the-job training. So he should not be directly asked to run a machine or equipment which is critical and he is looking for the first time, or he has not a hands-on experience. He might be knowing the machine as a whole, as a theory, or might have done some activities in his education in his college, but he is not the expert now for the operating this machine. So you have to allow some time, you have to do certain on-the-job training. We have to align with the qualified operator or experienced operator who is working on the system for a week, for 10 days, for example 5 to 6 batches. He just has to observe or assist the main operator that what he is doing, how he is operating, how he is cleaning the machine, how he is setting the sensors, how he is changing the change parts. So by being with the qualified or trained operator, he will learn many things which is, of course, in the SOP is written as a steps, but when the person sees practically, then that gives you a lot of understanding and confidence. Then once you are confident that now he as a observer understand the processes very well, then you can assign a batch to independently operate on a machine, independently act, and then the experienced operator, now he will become observer for this trainee operator, and he will see whether he is doing correctly, and if he is going to make, or he or she is going to make certain mistake, then he can prevent. So this is how we should train our operators. We must not be in a hurry that a person has joined and within 3-4 days or a week of time you should start operating the machine. If we go in that way of hurry, then there will be chances that machine will be operated wrongly. It will create a problem and it may have a serious issues with the machine which will require a lot of expense to correct it, or we have to call the original machine manufacturer to rectify. And this process is not a very good process. So rather than getting into the hurry of putting the people onto the machine and making him operate as soon as possible. Take some time, allow him to understand, allow him to get trained under a qualified operator, and then we can assign specific independent role, or we can allow him to independently operate the machine. So this is how we can properly define training program, or properly train our operators. In my subsequent videos, I will be making more videos on the training topic, and I will be covering how to train supervisor and senior level person for the specific activities and actions. So thank you very much for watching my video, and if you like, you can subscribe to my channel PharMaven. Thank you.